Okay, it's a short video on how to set up the microphones for panel discussion. We have 4 mics with 4 receivers and a mixer. So basically, this unit here is the mixer. This is what it looks like on the front. And then this is one of the 4 microphone receivers. And so I'm going to show you the backside here so you can see the hookup. There's a baggie that's marked 5 transformers. There would be 1 transformer for each of the microphones and then a separate transformer for the mixer. We'll include a power strip underneath the baggies. The transformer for the mixer just plugs into the back here. The transformer for the microphone, each of the 4 microphones have their own transformer that plugs in right in the back of the microphone. There's also a baggie marked antennas. It says 8 antennas because each of the 4 microphones have 2 antennas. They basically have little B and C connectors here. Just connect those on the back. The microphone boxes can be stacked, and you can just kind of turn the antennas at an angle like that so that they don't interfere with each other. Each of the microphones need to be connected to the mixer with what's called an XLR cable. XLR cables are professional cables. They have 3 pins like this. You've probably seen them at the hotels. So for each of the microphones, there's an XLR cable. It's 6 feet long. It's in a bag labeled XLR cables. So we connect the XLR cable to the mic, and then we'll connect it to each of the 4 inputs on the mixer. If you're only using 2 mics or 3 mics, then you only have to set up that many microphones. Now I'll show you in a minute how to determine which microphone and which receiver it is. But once you know which receiver it is, this would be receiver number 1. I suggest you plug it into input number 1. That way when you go to adjust the volume, you don't have to guess which volume does which microphone. But we're going to label each of the microphone boxes and the receivers and the microphones with a label that says which one it is, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And with that information, then you'll know which plug to plug in. The only other connection here is the output of the mixer. This is what goes to the hotel or convention center sound system. Again, it's an XLR cable. We've included a 50-foot cable in the bag in the case underneath the baggies. That would plug into the output right here. The other end plugs into the hotel sound system. Now, unless you need to adjust the volume once you get started, I'd suggest you just locate all this stuff pretty close to the hotel sound system. But with a 50-foot cable, if you want to sit in the back of the room and adjust the volume on each mic, you have the distance here with the cable to set that up. So let's take a look at the front of these 2 boxes. So again, this is the mic receiver. There's 4 of these. Power button here on the right. We have them all set up and programmed, ready to go. And you notice it says 1, 1. Okay, the first one indicates group number 1, and all the mics are on the same group. And the second number indicates what mic number it is. When I power on the microphone, and again, we'll label these, but in case the label is missing or whatever, you hold down the power button on the microphone, and once it gets powered up here, I don't know if you can see, but it says 1, 1 on the microphone. And if I talk into the microphone, you can see that I'm getting audio from the microphone to the receiver. None of the other buttons really are necessary. Like I said, they're all programmed. There's 4 mics, so group 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and 1, 4. The only other power button to worry about is the mixer. We power that up, and again, where you saw the indication that audio is coming through on the microphone, you're also seeing here on the mixer that we're getting sound through the mixer as well. Now again, because I plugged microphone number 1 into input number 1, I know that to adjust the volume, I would use the volume control for gain number 1. And the idea that what you want to get is you want to get for a loud noise all the way up to 0, but you don't want to go beyond 0. So if I turn this up a whole lot, you see I'm overdriving it. So we want to kind of get this set so that it's right about like that, maybe occasionally hit 0. When the master threshold is turned all the way down, you can hear it click. when it's turned all the way counterclockwise, it'll click in kind of like the off position. When it's in that position, all the mics are hot all the time, and that's probably what you're going to want to use. But if you want to take advantage of the automatic mixing, you can turn this on, and what it does is you can see the little red light there. It only activates the mic that has sound coming through it. So if you had 4 panelists, maybe it's kind of noisy or whatever in the background, each mic would go to the next speaker automatically when they start speaking. It's kind of technical and probably not necessary in most cases. So I'd suggest you just go ahead and leave that off and then adjust the volume as necessary for each of the 4 speakers. Now, these are wireless mics, so maybe you have a panel with 3 people, maybe you want to use the 4th one for a walk around the crowd so people can talk. That's fine too. Last thing I want to talk about is the little mic stands. I've got little tiny ones here that actually fold up like that so that they don't take up much room. I'll unfold them. One thing you got to be careful of is these feet sometimes come off pretty easily, so just make sure you don't lose the feet. And then the microphone just clamps right in like that. You can set it up on the table so that the speaker doesn't have to hold the microphone. The only thing I ask you be real careful about is there's lots of parts here. There's 8 antennas, there's 5 XLR cables, there's 5 power supplies. When you pack things up, make sure that everything gets back in the case. I know it's easy to leave a power supply plugged in the wall or plugged into the power strip. We want to try to make sure not to lose any of the parts, because then we have to go hunt down and buy new parts. That's it.